This is Midday Show live on Equa Television. And because we go around the continents, countries, and then put our spotlight on activities of those countries, can be state, can be local government, and can be a continent at whole, to inform you about what is happening, what they do differently. And today, we're diving to Asia. And Asia, we are going to East Asia in particular. And in East Asia, we are looking at a country that has a population of over 126 million people. You can see how crowded that country can be. And then it has, okay, if I said the kind of currency, possibly you will guess the country that we are going. Anyway, it's not a puzzle show, so I won't say you should guess. And today we are looking at Japan. Japan is located in East Asia, and the capital is Tokyo. And then it has the population of 126 million over. And then their currency is Japanese yen, their constitution. Government is monarchy. Sele, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Actually, I was wondering if I'm absent because you kept talking and you forgot all about me.
You know, I can't do this show without you. I can't forget you. You know, special people, you bring them in such a way.
God. I feel
you're looking so gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, good afternoon, viewers. So happy, so excited. I mean, I've been looking forward to being here. Finally, we're here today. We give God all the praise. Thank you so much, Solomon.
And you remember we promised them that today's on is going to be exciting. Exactly. It's going to be educated, and then also
to inform them about.
Yeah. So, and I believe our viewers there, we want to sincerely appreciate you for always tuning in and then pouring your heart towards the show, the Midday Show Live. You know, we'll be receiving your comment telling us that you love the show and how it's adding up to the knowledge which you have. And then also remember that we are live on Facebook and then YouTube, so you can follow us, drop your comment, and then we promise you time to time we'll be taking your comment and then reading them here.
Yep. So let's dive straight to the journey in Japan. Yeah, just like you've already laid the preamble, the fact about the population and also the fact of their root of government. So I'd like to go to the religion they practice in Japan. You know, primarily in Japan, they practice Shinto and Buddhism. And I'd like to hear it say simultaneously they practice, according to the estimate in the research, there are 69.0 Shinto, 66.7% Buddhism, 1.5% Christianity, and 6.2% other religion. So this calls for evangelism.
Yes,
because really, if you take a look at their religion, you know that, I mean, they are yet to know Christ. And you know, it's very important here because, you know, the Bible says that what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and loses his soul? So I think it's very important that, I mean, we take Jesus to the people in Japan. The fact that, yes, when we going through the journey, you realize that when it comes to technology, advancement, being literate, they're there. But I think the country is lacking when it comes to Christianity, and it's something that look at their media activity, but we say how can we preach Christ through everything we do for the people in Japan too?
Yes, it is very, very important, like you mentioned. What will it profit a man to gain the whole world? To me, if you ask me in summary, I will say Japan has everything, because if you talk about technology, you know, in the global stage, yes, I will almost say they are leading. Yes, and if you talk about their economy, they are second to the US.
Exactly.
So if you are talking the global world, people, you know, in other part of the world are looking up to them. But just look at the percentage. And we thank God for the Equa executives seeing it wise, you know, using the same technology here to take the message
gospel,
out there. So Midday Show is here, like you rightly said, and it is very important, you know, people to know, even as we inform you how other countries are doing economically, technology wise, you know, what constitutes the country, how they got their independence, who colonized them, what's the population and the rest. And then you know, now we have so many people out there which are looking for places to go and evangelize and plant a church. So you see how we are dishing information. So if you are out there and you are looking for place to go and then like a missionary, I think hopefully the population of Christians there, when I mean Christians, true Christians, true believers, you know, of Christ, you know, will increase in that country.
Yes. So since we're looking at their religion, I would like to move down to their education too. You know, education in Japan is compulsory at the elementary and the lower secondary level. Most students attend public school through the lower secondary level, but private education is popular at the upper secondary and the university level. And you know, another thing here is that they even have a place for the special and mentally challenged students, which they call it the special needs for education. You see, apart from the fact that we're focused on people that are learned, we're also looking at how about those who are physically challenged. Japanese also prepared a place especially for them. I know this leads us know that Japan is one of the world's most literate countries when it comes to when it comes to looking at literate, like knowing the book. You know, they are really, when you're talking, just like we're looking at the fact that when it comes to technology, they are rubbing shoulders with USA. So that's to show you how the Japanese government makes sure that education is key when it comes to from your elementary down to secondary, and even when it comes to tertiary institution. You see, Japanese are working round the clock to make sure that their students are well to them. That's why I say that they go to school maybe from 8 to 3, and even after 3 o'clock they have other extracurriculum activities that the students are involved in. So they hardly have time for every recreational activity because they are head bent on study.
Everything about success, you know, when it comes to individual or country, you know, it starts from the kind of knowledge that is at your disposal. And I think they see the importance of that. You know, that is why they said, yes, it is important, this drive, we cannot drive this and sustain it if our people are left behind educationally wise. You know, that is why you see, and then you know, if you really want to start something, you start early. Because look at the age now that you said. From that age, imagine impacting that knowledge into that child, and is growing with it and is catching up with the speed, you know, understanding that yes, even with all of this technology, they are not staying there. They are like, okay, telling themselves that yes, even these things that we have, we need to like upgrade them, you know, in the future. So we need people to know, to key in, so that as they grow, as those technology are fading, some people are coming with new innovations, new ways of solving issues. And that's why you see they keep the pace, you know, knowing that yes, they have a particular country that is leading, and they are like, okay, yes, if this country is leading, that we need to do something to our citizens, educate them. Once you give them education from the grassroots to the tertiary level, then you'll be rest assured that whatever you are planting, it will never fade, because they will always build on it. They have set themselves a standard and said, this is the way to go. And that thing is really, really helping them sell it. That's why in some part of the world, particularly this area where we are coming from, you know, I know we have other countries that have almost similar challenges that we do have here. But if you look at it, you know, when it comes to education, it is something that, you know, you find government playing politics with it, you know, not really giving it attention. If you look at budget when it comes to educational sector, you know, it's nothing to write home about. But you will see a huge amount of money when they are budgeting for a year for cutleries. Yeah, and you start wondering. And like
possibly look like misplacement of priority.
Of priority, yes. Because once you get the educational sector right, I'm telling you, every other thing will fall in place.
Exactly.
Because everything starts there. When you talk about things working the way it should, people being punctual, people being diligent, people being confident about themselves, people being resilient, hardworking, it starts from the kindergarten, the primary school, and that's where they are putting their resources in, because they believe once the very important. Let's look at the economy.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, the economy of Japan is a highly tell of what the economy will look like, because already they are learned enough to know that this is what we need to do. How can we improve on what we have, and then how can we see what we can do different? You mentioned the fact that if US is leading, now Japan will sit down and think, what can we do different? Why or how can we beat US with what they have?
That's the competition. Yes,
exactly. So it's really something I think we really
and
need
it's a healthy one, because you are thinking of how to solve global problem. Exactly. You understand, and then at that still you are getting money to sustain the economy again, and then your people are living well.
Exactly. And he says that it is the third largest in the world by GDP and the fourth largest by the purchasing power priority. Japan is the world third largest automobile manufacturing country and has one of the largest electronic good industry. Now you can see how massive and great Japan is moving when it comes to manufacturing of things, electronics and all that. And most of the things we use here in this part of the country, when it comes to using our generators and all that, it's even shocking to know that some of even the play gadgets we have, we're talking about PlayStations and all that, if you'll be shocked to hear who are the people that are, inventing all these things. They're not even up to age 20, 30. So to show you that, man, Japan are really, really, really working. For me to talk this way, I'm passionate about the way that Japan is, putting so much in seeing how they can boost its economy and making it to be better, just like you mentioned, how they can solve issues that are going on in the world now.
It is often ranked among the world's most innovative countries, leading in several measures of global patent. Japan currently focuses primarily on high tech and precious goods such as optical instrument and hybrid vehicles, which you just mentioned, and then robotics. And when it comes to when you mention Japan, what comes to your mind? When you are just passing and then somebody just mentioned Japan, and you thought, what comes to your mind?
Okay, I think I'm blank now.
You're blank? Okay. Me, once I just hear Japan, the first thing is electronics.
Yeah, already we've mentioned it when it comes to electronics.
I'm just saying how they have
it's as if they have printed their names in the minds of people. So the moment you hear electronics, you know that
Japan. And then look at how the globe now is moving when it comes to technology, innovations. Look at now, it looks like we are moving to a robotic
era, exactly.
Era, which robot does almost everything, and then you find that even in the labor market, people are really fighting against that, because if robots are doing everything, then what will humans do?
I mean, there's no need for manpower anymore.
Yes, because the robot you have to buy. Yes, if you have a specific need for the robot to meet, so that it will meet that need, and when it comes to that is money, and that's where they are zapping money, because yes, people are trying to look at how things will sweat before you can earn, before you can do something. So they don't believe that. They believe, yes, you can think and then create something that will do other things for you, and then why you rest.
Yeah, so let's now move to the tourist attraction. We've been mentioning, or we've been talking about Japan, electronics and all that. Now let's look at the tourist attraction. Now we're going to start with the first, which is Mount Fuji. This is the country's highest mountain peak. It's tall enough to be seen from Tokyo, more than 100 kilometers late in watching the sunrise from its summit. And you know, that mountain is, you know, the moment you enter into Japan, that's the first thing people would like to tell you about, because it's so famous. People know the mountain, even though it's erupted out of volcano, but the mountain looks beautiful. The mountain is something, just like we already have the number of people that each year troop into Japan just so they can have a view of the famous mountain.
Yeah, and I hope, but the problem is, you didn't ask me of the problem.
Okay, what's
but
the problem?
No, I won't tell you.
Okay,
let's move. Tell you. Yes, they also have the Imperial Tokyo, and Tokyo's most famous landmark, the Imperial Palace, has beautiful 17th century parks surrounded by walls and moats, and one of the most romantic view is of the famous Nijubashi tree reflection. You know.
Very beautiful sight, I'm telling you. You will love to behold that sight, because I mean the park is so beautiful, looking at the water. You know, actually naturally I love water. Waterfalls are beautiful. I mean,
do you know how to swim?
I don't know how to swim. But there's this thing about nature. It has the way of relieving you of whatever, you know, when you're having accumulative, you need to think straight. You know, nature is something that you really need to behold. I think this park is one of it. When you watch the waterfall, it's very beautiful and very great. I think it's a site that when you have the privilege of visiting Japan, it's somewhere you need to visit.
I understand the angle which you are talking. You know, a creative person in a creative industry, you know, yes, you like to visit sites like that, you know, to relax the mind, you know, think deep, bring new things, you know. So I see that coming.
You key into it.
Yes.
Okay, next one here we have is Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park, visited by more than 1 million people each year, mainly from overseas. And here you will find a number of important monuments, memorials, and museums related to the event of that fateful day. And that's looking at the atomic blast of August 1945. I mean, it's a site that is so beautiful, looking at the memorial park, because it reminds them of so much that has happened, especially the atomic blast of the August 1945. I know one thing while we're talking about the tourist side, one beautiful thing about Japan is one of the cleanest country in the world. So with all these parks, when you go there, you hardly find the environment looking dirty. Even the public toilets there in Japan are so clean, because they spend most of their days outside. So you realize that Japan is not really a country that you say they have a 12-hour day, 12-hour nighttime. Just like when we're talking about innovation, they work round the clock to see how can they make a change. What do they need to upgrade? What is lacking? So that's the way Japan works. And because they spend most of their days outside, you see that the environments are always clean. When you use their public toilet, when you visit the parks and all these tourist sites we're talking about, you see that the places are looking clean and beautiful at all times.
Are you surprised?
I'm not surprised, but looking at the fact, you know, when we're looking at the fact that it's populated, more populated than Nigeria. If this part of the country,
Nigeria is over 200
clean. So you know, it brings to the fact that how are they able to maintain this?
Look at the foundation. You remember what we just discussed?
Talking about education.
Yes, you know,
discipline. Japanese are very disciplined.
Yes.
So I think discipline has nothing to actually, though education plays a key role, but we cannot push it to the fact that you need to be disciplined to know that when you eat something, you need to clean the environment. It's already embedded in you that this is where I spend most of my time in the office. So I need to keep it clean.
You know, most educated people, you will find that discipline in them, because they have gone through it. It's a process. So you can see, even from the family unit, they are educated. They know how to do things right. Compare with people that are just there. So if you look at it from the value, you know, down to the educational system doing things properly. So you can see every unit count, you know, every unit when it comes to growth and making Japan at the top there count. So you look at it, okay, you talk about cleanliness. Look at where they are being placed. Is one of. So they are they've set a goal for themselves. This is where we want to achieve. So they have keyed the mindset of the people. And then look at it. They don't